Good morning. It's Sunday morning. I'm in my jeans and t-shirt. On Friday I released a post. The project management is not the sexiest subject on the planet. So I assumed as ever, maybe I get 10 to 15 likes. The subject of the post was, Agile isn't dead, but leaders want their due dates back. Now it blew up. And some of the Agile folks didn't like it at all. So let me review what I actually said, and then I'll comment on some of the criticisms and try to clarify a few of the teaching points. I said that across boardrooms right now, something is shifting. And it's louder than most project teams realise. I keep hearing the same thing from executives. I don't care about story points. I want to know exactly when this thing will be done. And honestly, I think they're right. Let's look at the evidence. 2025, Harvard Business Review said, leaders are demanding more predictability in delivery. The Agile Alliance reported that leaders are saying, stop trying to get me to let go of delivery dates, I have to guarantee delivery. A survey across Germany, Switzerland, France and the UK found organisations with higher agility focus more on processes and product delivery, with the conclusion being that Agile must evolve beyond ceremony into delivery-centric practice. And here's what I'm hearing personally. Stop telling me velocity, tell me delivery dates. Scrum is great, but who's accountable when we miss a deadline? We don't need more stand-ups, we need more certainty. Pure Agile has failed to deliver what leaders care about, predictability. Leaders want assurance over delivery dates, certainly in the market that we're in. We don't do software delivery, for example. So I said a few years ago, could we do the best of both worlds? Longer term planning with a shorter term focus. A 2024 survey by the Digital Project Manager found that 70% of large organisations now use hybrid delivery models combining agile practices with traditional waterfall and governance. Here's what this looks like. Here's a project plan, for example. I just wrote it up this morning, so it looks a bit scrappy. Now, the further out the plan goes, the less predictability you have. Beyond 2 to 3 months, guarantees are almost impossible. I think we can almost all agree on that. And here's another thing, big problem with Waterfall. Setting due dates can actually make projects run late. Student syndrome, Parkinson's law. We don't need to rush, we've got plenty of time. We'll take the time that we've been given. So what do? What have we been doing for the past 2 years now that makes our methodology really different and gives the best of both worlds? First, we build a rough project plan for the duration of the project. Now we know that once we get beyond the first 2 to 3 months, it's not going to be that accurate, but it'll be good enough to say, hey, here's what's going to happen. Then what we're trying to do is come in early all the time. To do that, we use safe and ambitious estimates on the blocks of work. We give best and worst case scenarios. Next, to improve predictability, we get the people who do the work to build the plan. This is the wisdom of the crowd mentality laid out in the famous book called The Wisdom of the Crowd. It's both accept that you cannot give long-term guarantees, but you can give shorter-term focus, and you can aim to come in early and then give regular updates. And the more that you have certainty and the more you deliver on your early ones, the more clarity you can give on your later deliveries. Then we use good flow-based practices. Notice I didn't say Agile or Waterfall. What I'm talking about is good work design, which applies to both. So what are those practices? Limit work in progress. Establish a clear sequence of work. Break work down into small chunks in the sprint, 2 to 5 days. Teach teams to manage even smaller bites of work. We work with individuals on how do you take 5 days down to 20 minutes an hour. Work as fast as possible, don't focus on due dates. Give honest updates on the remaining work, and if blocked, ask for help. So you take your first couple of blocks from your project plan, you release those into the sprint. Notice that the sprint is not arbitrary. It's based on the size of the blocks of work. It's not a straight 10-day sprint, it's whatever the block of work is. What you also see is that as you move forward, if you're completing the work in the right sequence, which you should be doing, you have a situation which the first block and the second block may actually influence the outcomes in block 2, 3 and 4. So you can see that we have the best of long-term planning, but with adaptability as we go. Now you may say to me, we're already doing those practices. Well, here's what we found. 6 years ago, we studied 55 different projects over a 2-year period, Agile and Waterfall. And guess what? Not one of them were applying all of these principles. So let me be clear. Irrespective of Agile or Waterfall, if the work design is wrong, the project will fail. Fact. This isn't a rejection of Agile. Neither is it a rejection or a promotion of Waterfall. It's a course correction. When you strip it all back, leaders want 3 things. Predictability, accurate forecasts, not abstract points, visibility, real-time progress they can trust, control, governance that connects Agile teams to strategic outcomes, and the best delivery teams are already adapting. Last year, 4 projects delivered. This year, 7 big projects delivered, replacing story points with remaining task duration, focusing on flow metrics like cycle time and throughput, limiting work in progress, aligning sprints with milestone-based roadmaps like this. Agile will survive, and so will Waterfall, right? But in both cases, only if we evolve it beyond things like ceremonies and hard due dates, beyond jargon, into a language that leaders understand. Because let's be honest, story points don't pay the bills, delivery dates do. Now here's what's interesting. We don't do Agile work. We help large programs that need certainty. For example, a large supermarket chain with their yearly campaign management. Guess what? Christmas Day won't move. It's always the 25th of December. So I don't really care whether Agile evolves, Waterfall evolves. I don't care about labels. What I care about is taking bad practices and changing the work design and making sure that we get good practices, better design and management of work to deliver better outcomes for leaders. Why do I care? Because as a consultancy firm, the only way we're going to make money if we deliver. The only way that our reputation as project managers is going to get better is if we deliver. It was Deming that said, does nobody care about profits anymore? So meeting short and long-term needs through good work design, that's the way forward. Now, one final thing. You have every right to disagree with me, and I will defend that right. What you don't have the right to do is abuse me, my team, or anyone who comments. If you engage in trolling, we will block it. Finally, if you're a senior leader delivering projects in regulatory, governance, or risk spaces, if you're worried about delivery, here's how we can help. Number 1, reach out via a DM or an email. Second, get our book. Brand new book out on how to deliver late running projects faster, or join the newsletter. And I really do look forward to reading and responding to all of your comments. Have a great day.